Hey, welcome back to Home Studio Pro. In this episode, it's all about your audio quality, and specifically how it matters so much more than the precious visuals on your screen. Everybody focuses on how to make the video look as best as possible with lights and the camera and the colors and the background. Yeah, that's all pretty important, but nothing matters as much as your video's audio quality. We'll explain that in just a second, but hey, since you're here, if you like this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel, and by the end of this video, if it provides you value, reward it with a thumbs up. It is my opinion, after multiple decades of creating content and producing material, that audio alone remains 65% or more of your video's production value. I firmly believe that the average viewer will stick with the video so long as the audio is good. You could have a camera that's out of focus, a color temperature that's wrong, a background that's poorly lit or distracting, whatever. So long as the material is interesting to them, like the topic being covered, but so long as they can hear the person delivering it in a reasonable fashion, they will continue to consume content. However, if everything looks great here on camera, well lit, pristine, all that stuff, but the audio is really bad, like it sounds like this, they might stop listening. How long could you listen to this, by the way? That would get really annoying if it acoustically did not sound great, if it was fatiguing. Audio gets fatiguing really fast if it's bad. And on that note, as you create this audio content, I want to remind you that you're doing it for multiple speaker outputs. These days, it's not just people watching on television and that's it. There's mobile devices, home stereos, car stereos, earbuds of all qualities, good ones, bad ones, headphones, full cans, you name it. So you really have to be specific about what you're creating, how you do it, and I'll help you understand and I'll explain it here as we go. But just know that you're not creating audio for one medium. The challenge is to make it so good so that it sounds great across all of those different platforms. General tips for solid audio production go like this. Know the room that you're in. I'm here acoustically treated in the home studio, so claps, snaps, the sound kind of dies in here because reverberation doesn't happen. I've got sound absorbing panels across pretty much all four walls of this room, but not all rooms are like that. So know the room you're going into. Does it sound like an empty hallway or an echoey bathroom? Can you record somewhere else? Know the microphone you're using. Is it a dynamic or a condenser? The pickup pattern. How far away should I be from it? I've got a whole separate video, by the way, on mic technique, which I highly recommend you checking out. Placement, not only in the room, but placement yourself with the microphone so that you don't get too far away from it. You can't hear yourself. It's not doing the job it's supposed to. Yeah, microphone technique. Also, monitor your audio as you're recording it. I don't know if there's a problem as I'm doing this unless I'm listening to it as I'm recording it. So if you have the opportunity and if your setup allows, monitor your audio as you're live streaming and as you're recording. It will save you from redos. It'll save you from a lot of problems down the road. Okay, I kind of touched on all those things. Let me go into detail on knowing the room. Specifically, avoiding reflections, right? Echoes do happen in most bedrooms and hallways and office spaces and conference rooms. For example, at work, I record a lot of videos in a room that is high-ceilinged, four walls, big, open, and airy, but a lot of the walls behind me are glass. Like, they are materials that sound just loves to bounce off of, like a trampoline almost. And the more you get that sound bouncing around the room and going into the mic originally, but also bouncing off the walls and returning back into the microphone, that is where you get this type of, well, it doesn't sound like this, but you understand. That's where you get that reverberation, that type of echo. So how can you be in this room, know the room, avoid that? Whether it's manufactured products, whether it's using a bed comforter to put behind you or to hang things on the wall, walls that absorb sound, know the room and how you can fix it up as best as possible. By the way, I'll do another video on sound isolation versus sound absorption in the very near future. Also, can you get rid of things that that hum, that buzz, that make noise? Now, here in the home studio, I don't think there's anything with a fan. Like, even the computer I use, the Mac, it doesn't have a fan in it. Nothing here on my desk purposely has a fan, because if it did, it would make noise when I'm silent. Instead, you don't hear anything. So that is a big deal. Avoiding being around air conditioners or whatever might make noise. You want to be away from that. Ambient sounds, there's nothing I can do when the neighbors have their gardeners come and the leaf blowers get turned on or the lawnmower gets kicking. I pretty much have no choice. My room is not sound isolated. It's sound treated. So there's nothing I can do. But knowing when those things might happen, knowing when the train goes by, knowing when the planes are going to fly overhead, knowing when the bus comes by your neighborhood, how can you avoid recording during those times? And also some rooms just have a sweet spot. Maybe it's more placed in one corner or another. You need to try and experiment and figure it out that there might be better spots in a room that are more suited for recording than others to get the best audio quality. Okay, know the microphone. What type of pickup pattern is it? Is it a supercardioid, a hypercardioid with a really narrow pickup pattern? Does it have a circular pattern? Can I be anywhere around it and it sounds good? Figure of 8. What is the pattern you're using? Where is the business end? Like on this Neumann U87 AI, it's a side address mic. So I'm talking into the side of it. I'm not talking into the top of the mic. But some microphones are top end address. For example, Shure SM7B. You don't want to talk into this side of it. You want to talk straight down the barrel. It's a top address microphone, an end address microphone, not a side address microphone. You also want to know your microphone in terms of sensitivity and gain. I'm not going to do it to you here, but I could crank up the gain, and then all of a sudden it would sound overdone, distorted. It would be really, really bad. How do you get the levels? How do you get the gain staging correct on your microphone? Also, is it shock mounted? Yeah, I'm here on a boom arm in the home studio, so I can tap the desk and all that stuff, and it doesn't make that noise like I'm doing right there. So shock mount your microphone when possible. Know your microphone, have good technique. Placement. Proper distance. Now, a lot of times I'm talking about a studio microphone in a home setup. This is Home Studio Pro, but the proper distance, hang loose distance away, I always say that, make the hang loose sign, and then, oops, sorry, are you about that far away from a condenser? Now, a dynamic, you might need to be up on it just a little bit more, like the SM7B. You might need to close talk it a little bit more to get the sound you want. How about a lavalier mic, right? So oftentimes, and I don't have one here on me right now, but this might be a better option for more people. If you're not good at mic technique and you don't want to buy a boom arm, get a lavalier mic. Put it right here on your lapel, put it centered, and find the sweet spot for it. Maybe it's down here more, maybe it's up here. Find the sweet spot for your specific lavalier microphone. Maybe a headset mic. Now, I caution you because a lot of times the quality of headset mics are certainly not as good as a large diaphragm condenser like this, but you can get a good headset mic that has a boom arm that comes right around here in front of your mouth. So you can have hands-free. You don't need to worry about mic technique so long as you place this mic boom in a spot that you're not going to be blowing plosives into it. You'll have a good audio setup, and it will always be unchanged. No matter how you turn your head, you won't have any problems. And lastly, mic placement. I have no problem with people putting their microphones on camera. I feel like there was something before 2020 where people would record stuff and think that they had to have a boom situation where the mic, it's stupid, right? The mic had to be up there and it couldn't be seen on camera for some reason. Whatever provides you the best audio quality, do it. Let's see your mic. It doesn't matter to be seeing it. I mean, people have been watching radio broadcasters do this for years. Why do we think it's inappropriate to see a mic on a video or a live stream or a presentation or a Zoom call? Whatever makes the best audio, do it on camera, doesn't matter. Microphone technique, are you a loud talker? Are you a soft talker? Can you project your voice? I mean, some people naturally just kind of talk like this, and that's fine. I mean, it's fine if you talk like this, and it's fine if you talk quiet, but you better get a little bit closer to the microphone instead of I'll be out of focus, but instead of trying to be back farther away and speak softly. Match the projection of your voice to how close you are to the microphone. It's all part of microphone technique. And also make sure that you, as the content creator, have your guests stay on mic. Like, even when you get good at mic technique and you know your room and you know how to cut down on the reverberations, understand that your guests are still brand new at this. So they're gonna sit down next to the mic, and then 5 minutes into the conversation, they'll be kind of leaning over here talking, and now I really can't hear them, and then over here. It's just, stay on mic. Help your guests stay on mic. Make sure they're mic'd and help them stay on mic. And a large part of that is just monitoring your audio. I'll go back to this, the real-time output. If you can get it through your camera, if you can get it, like in my case, through your mixer right here or your audio interface, there's a lot of ways to monitor your audio as you're recording it, as you're live streaming. Please, please do that. Check the levels being right. Check the mix of sources being right. On a live stream, there's no redoing it. So you want to make sure you're putting out the right content while you're doing it. And you can also obviously check for the signal and defects and sound interference. If you're using a wireless kit, the batteries die. Is there something stepping on my signal? Is there static in the signal? There's a lot that can go wrong with multiple things. And it's even happened here in my home studio. I've had a cable go bad. Just replaced it because I noticed as I was recording, what's that popping noise? But I would not have noticed that unless I was listening to it until I went back on the recording. I would have been upset that I missed something or had to do a critical interview all over again. You don't want to run yourself up against that. So that is the conclusion. I hope I made my point here. Audio quality is so much more important than actually the video that people see. Yeah, I understand. You want to look good in your home studio. You want the lights and the colors and the background. You want it all to be top notch, and it should be. Strive for that. But understand that without good audio, none of this stuff here behind you or on camera, how you present, your content, if you have great content and horrible audio, a lot of people are going to not tune in. And that goes for videos, that goes for podcasts, it goes for anything you're creating. Your audio quality matters so much. You being here matters so much to me. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you want more of this, I've got lots of content right around the corner. Also, thumbs up on this video if it provided you some value. Thanks.